dead closed now.
Which way you going?
Move real slow.
Well, Mr. Hurtt, if you were to give the audience today some of your secrets that you brought to Texas from Alabama, what would one of them be on fishing for these big bass down here in South Texas?
Well, I'm not real sure, Jerry, today. I think that the temperature change kills us. I think yesterday the temperature was about 8 degrees different. In Alabama, it don't change that quick.
It don't.
Well,
what are you gonna do now? Way it is and everything. What are they hitting on this morning? Anything at all?
Well, you caught one on some kind of lure I never heard of, but I think he was cheating. What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure about that, and I'm not quite ready to let the audience know what it was that I was fishing with.
You ain't letting me know. I know you ain't gonna let the audience know.
All weekend, but perhaps if they tune in next week, that we might let them know at least one or two of the things that I do that makes me such a great fisherman.
Well, I guess so. You know how to catch the big fish. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know. Now, abundance of them too. I don't know. I think it's that secret weapon you got, that secret lure.
Well, who knows? Lurking out there in those sticks, ladies and gentlemen, is a fish that could very likely break the Texas state and the United States world records.
And we're very likely to be the one to catch it, too.
We are here on Lake Miracle Lake, in deep South Texas on the ranch of Roy and Fannie Mae Hines.
Fishing with Alabama bass. Are hanging around those twigs and those sticks that stick up. You gotta lay right when you lay the spinnerbait in there, you gotta let it fall, and as it falls, you tighten the line, and he'll run with it. That's the technique to it. We've caught probably over 50 fish like this today that go in the 3 and 4 pound class. It's just a technique, you know. That's all about it. We're releasing all these fish because you know, like you caught one yesterday about 7.5, 8 pounds. We're looking for that. Keep out on the boat. It's a keeper.
Okay, Mr. Hurtt, you got a keeper on this time, you think?
He'll go 5 pounds.
Well, the action's picking up, isn't it?
He's a good bass, Johnson. I don't know if he's a good one. He's a 5, 6 pound bass, son. He's a good fish. That's all Alabama boys can catch these things, can't we, son?
I tell you.
You ever seen anything like it?
Never.
I hear you. Get down the water, boy. Ease back up here. Ease back up here. Ease. Well, that's a good fish right here, Johnson.
Yes, sir.
That's a good bass.
Yes, sir.
It's a good 4.5, 5 pound bass right there. Very nice fish. But it's just not what I'm looking for.
You gonna turn that loose, Mr. Hurtt?
Yes, sir, I am. That's not the fish I'm wanting. I've caught probably yesterday and today 25 to 30 fish of that caliber. Oh, let me hoss him here. Let me hoss him. Let me hoss him a little bit for you. Hoss him up out of the water. He swallowed this one, baby. He took it hook, line, and sinker. Okay, come to daddy. Look at there. Is that a beautiful fish or what?
Yes, sir.
That's, what is that, in the last 10 minutes, 3 bass of that caliber?
Yes, sir.
Man, that old fish hung good.
Old lady just full of that size.
Full of them. That's one of the smaller ones we've caught. He tore them. He's a smaller one, but you know, he's a bass.
He looks big in this camera, though. Looks like he weighs about 6 pounds.
He's a nice bass, you know what I mean? I've caught a bunch of them like that, I tell you that. Cool. They're strong. Damn, they're strong.
For their size, they're really strong fish, ain't they?
Really, probably the strongest bass I know by far the strongest bass I've ever caught. Oh, stout. Catch one 3 pounds and you got a tug on your hand. Come here, boy. What a pretty fish. Jerry, that's a nice bass. Let me see your expressions here. Look in the camera. Tell me your technique on that bass.
Danny, I wonder why it is that it seems like that I'm catching all the bigger fish. Is it the way,
Now, Bud, I don't know about that. Now, you've caught one bigger one, but that's all. I think I'm in second place. That is a
there's
beautiful.
a lot of...
Oh, sure. How many how many have we released, me and you together, the last 2 days? In
Well,
5 to 6 pound bass class.
fish this size, we've probably released, I'd say, around 38 or 40 this size.
Right, exactly.
And probably 10 that was a pound heavier than this one. And maybe 15 or 20 that was smaller than this one.
He's rattling that thing, isn't he, Jerry?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, Danny,
Jerry, I don't believe I believe I'm a few up on you now.
I think that's the same fish, Danny. Look like the same fish, don't it?
No, that fish is smaller, Jerry. That's a 4.5 pound. That last one you had was a good 5 pound bass. That's a good bass, but you know, he's not the bass we've released at least 35 to 40 bass bigger.
Wish you was here with us, Tommy. That bait's so bad that it ate the end flipper plumb off of it. I had a big willow leaf flipper on it. It was right here, and as you can see, it's gone. Showing the tech that I wasn't lying about the fish eating the flippers off of my special made secret spinner baits. I want you to look at that bass. Now that's easy right there, probably 5, 5.5 maybe. Could be a 6 pound bass. I don't think so. He's pulling like a 6 pound bass.
He's a big fish, Jerry.
But he's a nice fish, isn't he, Danny?
He really is. I'm trying to get him in the lens better here. There we go. There we go. That is a nice fish. He's a hog. That is a nice bass. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, buddy.
As you noticed, I put a new flipper back on it. That's the secret right there.
I believe you're right. Let me look at the fish. Hold on a second here. That is a beautiful bass. I can't hardly get him in the lens. How much he weigh?
Lure. And the fish got off. But I did have him on a Jerry Johnson special. Look, let me show you. See, he goes by his lures, spinner baits, and then he takes the back.
I hooked up on another one using the Johnson special. He's not a real special fish, but he's a fish. And he bit just 5 minutes after I caught the last one. I want you to notice the fight that fish has got in him, no bigger than he is. The secret to this lake and the strength of these fish is that the owner, Roy Hines, he periodically sprinkles from an airplane steroid pellets into the water. He learned this trick from Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the next thing that he's going to introduce to the lake is appetite stimulant.
But Jerry, don't you think the reason me and you are out fishing all the other people down here that is your lure?
Oh, absolutely.
And I think,
Absolutely, that and technique. I mean, now you take this same lure and you give it to somebody else, they might not be able to catch as many fish.
well, that's true. You got to know how to work that Johnson lure.
Nice little fella.
Nice bass. Let's see your lure there. That's the new one you made,
This
remember?
is the Magnum. This is the Magnum willow leaf.
Uh-huh.
And it does. Wanted to ask you, now what exactly the technique is that you're using? Now I noticed that you're heading the boat back up to the top of where the wind's blowing from.
Yeah. Well, the wind's blowing hard across the lake, so what we're doing, we're going to this side of the lake every time and letting the boat drift back through. And like you said, I think the reason the fish are starting to bite now later in the day is because it was real cold this morning and they just now starting to feed. But the number one thing I think we're doing that other fishermen don't use is we're using mobile wood. Okay, we're gonna, as far back as I can get. That's all the lens has. This is Jerry Johnson. He's not only a professional deer hunter, he's also one of the finer bass fishermen in the state of Texas. And a lot of it is due to his special casting techniques. Of course, it's a special made lure. Let me zoom in on that lure.
One thing that you always got to do when you're out here fishing or fishing anywhere, take your hook on. drag it across your fingernail and it'll hang from your fingernails.
I heard that. Yeah, you got to have a sharp hook in everything you do. Look at the technique of which he sharpens that hook. Uh-huh.
All right, now that the hook is ready with the Magnum Johnson flipper spinning bait,
Yeah, you've got the Magnum on, don't you? That's right.
a lot of times you get into a situation like we are here and you're in close quarters and you can't really cast, but you need to. And I've developed a little trick casting that the average fella could learn real easy. I call it the whoop. And you just get about a foot or 10 inches of line right on the end of it like that. Give it one or two whoops just like this. That way you can cast just as far as you can by rearing back.
And that's called the Johnson whoop or the Johnson two whoop?
That's a double whoop.
That's a double whoop. The Johnson double whoop, okay.
And I'm probably going to catch a fish right now while I was just demonstrating how to cast.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you want to be able to cast twice as far as you usually do in the normal fashion, then you let out about 2 foot of line like this. You're going to cast out there, you can cast twice as far this way. If you bring it up, like it.
I don't know if the camera was able to recover all of that whooping or not. That's a lot of whipping, you know. It might have.
But for instance, see that stick over there?
Which
I
one?
can easily hit that stick,
All right, I'm going to zoom in on the stick.
that one over there, with the Johnson double whoop. All right, here we go.
Perfect, perfect. That's called a...
Oh, shit. Back us up. Back us up.
As you can see, Mr. Johnson has another one on here. That Magnum spoon is a tough little dude.
Yes, open for daddy. Open it up for daddy.
There's a bass.
Nice little fish.
Very nice, 3-pound bass. How many does that make in the last hour we've caught, Jerry? Let's just say 3 pounds to 6 pounds in the last hour.
Well,
12, 14?
yeah,
That's what I'd say too.
12, 14.
That's not a bad fishing morning, is it?
No.
That Mobile One, it really works, don't it?
At $2 a piece, that'd be $30, $40 worth.
What do you think about the Mobile One?
Well, I don't think you can beat it. As you noticed, that you're working for us today.
Yep.
It could be that the reason it works so well is this is all country down here.
Right, that's what it is. You know, everybody's went to the motor oil worms and all that, and hey,
Worms and so forth, and they've just been trying to take a shortcut, and why do that when you can go to the real thing?
that's right.
I just take a Folgers can and fill it up full of that motor oil, keep it right here in the boat, and every time I cast, I just dip my lure right down in the motor oil, and it makes the motor oil anything. Notice that?
That was one of the finest casts I think I've ever seen a man make.
I caught this on the Johnson Mini Mag with a white trailer. With a white trailer. He's about a 3-pound bass. Look at that. Can you see that bait in his mouth, Johnson? Can you give him a good picture of that bait in his mouth? That's your own design.
Mm-hmm.
You made the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Got a good shot of that bait?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fine bait by Jerry Johnson right there. Fine bait. Can't beat it. Look at it. He went after that white worm, trailing that chartreuse spinner, that Johnson Mini Mag. There he is. Can you get him for me?
Yeah, let me get him.
Put that camera down and help me get him in the boat. I'm fishing with. Gave me that new white worm. Look at it in his mouth. I was almost to lose him. Look. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a 7-pound bass right there you're looking at.
Hold on, Danny. If the bass is so big, I'm gonna have to turn this sideways to get him all in the picture.
Okay.
Now hold on just a second now.
All right.
Now let me. Yeah. Yeah.
He's a hoss. He's a good one.
You gonna mount that fish, Danny?
Yeah, I think I will.
Now you
I'm
gonna
gonna weigh
mount
him, you know. If he's 6.5, 7 pounds, I'm gonna. He's a nice bass. Bass. Real nice bass.
And what would you say was the main reason that you was able to catch that fish?
I think it's this. Let me get this lure out of his mouth here. He's almost to spit it. Look at there. I think it's cause of Johnson. This is the mini mag, which you said wouldn't catch big fish. You're using the Magnum, but I believe the mini mag will catch a nice bass. That's a heavy fish. That fish is heavy. We'll try to bring him up right now. If I give him Johnson lures won't work, you look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You think that Johnson lure won't work? I don't know how many fish me and old Jerry's caught this morning, but we've caught a lot of bass on this plug.
Where would a fella send to get one of these, Daddy?
You can't get them, bud. Only two men in the world got them. That's Jerry Johnson and Danny Hurtt. That's the only two people in the world's got that right there. Jerry Johnson won't let nobody else have them. He exclusively made them for our fishing trip on Miracle Lake. Right?
That's right.
That's right.
My new variation.
Now, this is the new variation lure, right, Johnson?
Yeah.
Let me get down the line and find a fish. There.
Third cast. Third cast.
Can you bring him up?
Third cast I made with a new lure.
Nice bass. That's the third cast you made with your new lure, right?
Right.
That is a nice bass.
But I want to show you this lure, though. I don't know how close you can zoom in on it.
Oh, I can get right on it.
But we got away from the chartreuse color and went to this, which is salt and pepper,
Uh-huh.
and the white worm. These worms, I have them imported from Taiwan. You can't buy them in the United States. And this is the salt and pepper. And what I think it is they think it's a shad. They're feeding on shad right now.
But they're not for sale, right? I mean, you can't even buy those at Hunter Pro, right?
No, you can't even buy
They're
them.
not for sale.
They're not for sale. I guess for probably $20, $30 a piece, I might make them up for people.
All right, now, what about your technique of sharpening hook? You know, right before I caught that large bass, that 7-pounder I just caught, you sharpened the hook.
Right.
Now, you did say something about that hook sharpener.
Yeah, I done told them about the sharpening the hook.
Okay. All righty. Just to let them know, this is 12:05 on March the 13th, 1988, right?
Yeah.
And this film we started about an hour ago, right?
That's correct.
We've caught all these bass within, no, let's say about an hour and a half, right?
Right, we came out about 9:30, and it's about what time?
It's
now?
12:05.
12:05, a couple hours.
Couple hours, we've caught the average of 25 or 30 bass with 2 or 3 5-pounders and one I have in the cooler there. That is a mountain bass.
Right, yeah, and the other one, we caught yesterday was a nice bass, but I believe we caught more bass today using these new lures than we caught yesterday by a long shot.
Yeah. But we caught a lot of bass yesterday too.
Oh yeah.
You caught one 7.5-pounder, remember?
Yeah.
That's the one we got up there in the basket.
We caught. We'll show the folks that fish a little later.
Right. Okay. Okay. It's right now. It's 12:16. So and we had to crank the motor up at 12:05. We had our last bass on. So that tells you about what the period of time. About every 10 minutes we catching a bass, right, Jerry?
Yeah, about everything. That's the smallest bass I believe we've caught. I'm surprised one of them others hadn't ate him yet.
What is it? 1-pound bass?
Oh, he don't even weigh that.
3/4 of a pounder.
I've seen shad that big.
Smallest bass we've caught.
New variation.
Let me look. Let me get right on it. Oh, man, isn't that a beautiful lure? Jerry, you said that if you ever got out of the hunting business, that you might get into Bass Pro.
Yeah.
Fish tournaments and make lures and stuff like that. Well, I bet you that if Jimmy Houston and old Bill Dance and all them found that out, they'd be shaking in their shoes, don't you?
Well, not only am I a good fisherman, but I'm a good bait builder, Dan.
That's what I'm saying. That's the trick.
I'm thinking about going into it professionally as a manufacturer
Right.
as well as a fisherman.
Well, you study the water, like me and you've been out here, You study the water and what's taking place, and then you build the lure in the boat. That's something that I've never seen done.
That's right.
Building the lure in the boat is a technique that most people do not have. And you can see it works just by the amount of fish we've caught and the size of the bass. Because on that fish I got in the live well there, you built the lure in that 5 minutes before that I caught that fish on.
That's correct.
Have you got another one on, Jerry?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I hear him splashing the water. I don't see him, but...
see. There he is. Oh yeah, nice fish. We've caught just an abundance of fish like that, haven't we, Jerry?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's unreal how many bass we've caught.
Just a testimony as to how well this thing was. That's how deep down in there that fish had taken this bait. He was slam dunked it. I mean, to tell you, he wanted it all. He deep throated it. And again, we were using the special made rubber trailer worm with the willow leaf.
That's on the Johnson Magnum too.
Magnum.
Uh-huh.
Magnum. I was a little disappointed in that fish. I was expecting to catch one at least, 5 pounds, but sometimes.
3 I do. You have to settle for those.
Yeah.
This is all taking place at 12:42, March 13th.
It's too close for the people to see, but this lure has been used quite a bit, and this line has gotten rough. And when that happens, you need to clip that off and move it up.
Yeah, seems because you catch a big fish, it's going to break, isn't it?
That's right.
That's right. Small bass on, but the reason I'm doing this is to show you how fast we're catching these fish. Look at your date and your date.
Look at the lower left-hand corner of your television screen, little fisherman. And see that Dancing Dan, the fish-catching man, Jigging Jerry ain't messing with you.
We didn't come here to play, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of fact, the bass guide, the pro on this lake, he just gave up. He caught 3 fish yesterday. I think Jerry caught 23. I caught 21, if that tells you anything. So today, he stayed at home. We're speaking of Tom Mann. Did you notice how Jigging Jerry unloosed that?
Unloosed it.
Unloosed that baby. Oh, Jigging Jerry. See, that's why they call him Jigging Jerry. He can jig it anywhere.
Now we're about to get out.
All these bass fight here, Johnson. These are some fighting fish. Look at that bass. Trying to get caught many a fish, ladies and gentlemen. I'd be willing to say in the last 3 hours, me and Jigging Jerry have caught close to 40 bass like that right there. Well, bigger. That's some of the smaller ones. In the 4-pound class, we've caught 40 bass. Jerry, I believe I'm about ready to call it a day, son. I've caught so many bass at my shoulders, my arms. If you'll look, I've got a 4-pounder just sliding him in the water right there. I've caught so many bass that I thought I'd never say this, but I'm ready to quit. I am ready to quit catching bass. I'd like to bring my buddy Tommy down here one of these days. It'd be nice for him to be able to come down here and catch these kind of fish all day long. Yep, look at that fish. Isn't that a beautiful fish? But, well, I've been fishing a long time, but I've never in my life fished anywhere where you can catch bass like here on Miracle Lake. And coming in the other night, Jerry blindfolded me coming in. I'm hoping on my way out he don't blindfold me where I can get back to this place. But I don't know. They say it's such a secret. You got to be a big-time man like Jerry Johnson, like Gigolo Jerry, or Jigging Jerry. Excuse me. He's a gigolo too. Jigging Jerry to fish places like this, Well, maybe one of these days old Dan can get up there, where they don't blindfold me when I come in here.
Now listen, what you want to do is frame it. In other words, the bottom is from the bottom of the fish to the tops of our heads. Zoom it in that close so you can see them just as good as you possibly can. Ain't bad for starting.
Ain't bad.
Dancing Dan,
Yeah, Jigging Jerry.
the fish catching man.
That's me.
When you want to come back?
I'm ready now.
You ready to put your blindfold on?
You bet. I got to wear my blindfold out of here, though. They won't let an old boy from Alabama come down here too often.